Hey YouTube, it's Dimitri from Biancaland, and today I just want to do a quick garden update here. We are sitting in June of 2022. This is probably the best garden we've ever done. A big thank you to my wife, as she spent a lot more time in the garden this year than I ever have, and it clearly shows here. So we have a lot of things growing. I just want to do a quick overview. We have tomatoes nestled throughout, which is everything in a cage. We have winter savory. I believe this is called, they're just savory. We have a stevia plant, some oregano down there. We have our rosemary growing. It's hard to see in here, but we have a little bit of parsley. We have some pepper plants, more tomatoes, and of course the Genovese basil. We have a green bell pepper here in the bottom right. A sweet banana pepper here, which you can see we have actual peppers on right now, and another pepper plant over there of some sorts. This is my perennial bed we've been working on. This is gay feather on the right here, which is about to bloom. And then all these awesome spiky little thorny bushes are my artichoke plants. We're hoping they will grow big enough here in the next year or two to produce artichokes. And then a wide variety assortment here of tomatoes. So again, you can see we have a few tomatoes coming on. I believe these are Romos. We have some summer squash down in here coming on. Those are the green bean bushes, which have green beans. And we've been harvesting those for the last probably week or two. This awesome giant plant here is a cucumber. And then we have a zucchini plant right here. And again, just more nestling of tomatoes, some wildflowers, my massive wisteria bush. Plus we have like an orange trumpet in here, and in the spring on the back other side we have a yellow trumpet. This needs to get weeded, but these are all of our blackberries that should be coming on. I probably should have fertilized to get them a little bit bigger. And I won't forget to mention we have a few blueberry plants growing in here. Again, hoping a year or two they'll get big enough to produce. More tomatoes, a watermelon plant, which had a ton of flowers on it. We used calcium through bone meal this year to help boost the bed because we had end rot a few years back. Don't forget, this little tree is a new Chinese or Mormon apricot. And then kind of going around this way, these are all of my blackberries, the thornless, and you can see we have a few that are almost coming in. I have a bunch of fruit trees which I'm not going to cover today, but you can see we have some nectarines coming in, as well as a bunch of Asian pears, a few gala apples, and some jujubes. And I have a few raspberries, these light colored ones. I've always struggled to grow those here in Dallas. And then we have an awesome assortment of onions here. I believe there's like 72, 73 onions. More tomatoes. You can see I have some bigger ones kind of growing here and there. And this is supposed to be some new squash we got from Lowe's. It's called Garden Grill Squash. And a big shout out and thank you to our neighbors, Kathy and Darren. They gave us a ton of free seeds this year, and a lot of these have been grown with that. And these are our dying peas. Of course, we are at end of season here, but if you look in here, there are still lots of peas to be picked and pulled from these plants in general. And then to wrap off the tour here, these last two beds are just an assortment of basically weeds, because we had a zucchini growing here. I have a volunteer, I believe this is like an Asian basil. We have some beets and things we need to pick. I like the tops better than the beet themselves because the beets seem to be fairly small. I have a lot to learn in that area. And of course we have carrots, which my daughter loves to pick and eat. So we've just let these grow, and she picks one or two a day. And then finally, this is the other spring bed we had. There is some broccoli growing in here. We're in like 100-degree weather and it seems to still be growing for some reason. And then we have just more greens and beets and radishes, and of course a few little pepper plants that we just kind of nestled in there because I planted way too many in the planters. So anyways, that's the garden tour here for 2020 in June. Everything seems to be growing great. It is very dense. Yes, we have a ton of grassy weeds. If you look out here on my landscape, we live in the middle of a grass field. I do have some neighbors around me, but there's a lot of grasses that just kind of blow in, and it's challenging to keep those weeds back. So anyways, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and as always, until next time.